The Law and You, a look at laws in St. Vincent and the Grenadines which affect our daily lives. The Law and You, presented by lawyer panel P.R Campbell QC and brought to you on SVG-TV as a public service.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, greetings. Welcome to another presentation in this public service nation building series, The Law and You. This is program number 940. Coming to you on Monday, the 17th of June, 2019. On this program, I will speak to you on the topic SVG in World News. But before getting into the topic, some rather lengthy preliminary comments. Beginning as usual with condolences to all families which have suffered recent bereavements. Secondly, I would like to thank on behalf of His Eminence Archbishop Melford Pompey all those men who attended our first ever men's conference of the Spiritual Baptist Archdiocese, which was held on Saturday gone at St. John's Iron Hill. The men enjoyed it so much that we were supposed to finish at 3, went on till 5. And the men asked for another one as soon as possible. So the Archbishop has that under consideration. And just to remind all Spiritual Baptist women of the Archdiocese that the Women's Conference is coming up next Sunday, 23rd of June. That is the very next Sunday after today. And that will be held at Overland, St. Mary's Cathedral, Overland. And let me just remind all ladies who plan to attend that you are supposed to carry your own lunches with you when you go to the conference. There was some uncertainty as to what were the arrangements, but the final word is that you must bring along your own lunches. So I hope all the ladies will respond, and I hope your conference will be as interesting as the men's conference. All right, the final preliminary is going to be long because it is a burning question. I want to begin by reading you from something on the website called Petition Against High Intra-Regional Travel Taxes Exceeds Expectations. And this is Dateline the 10th of May 2019. And I will read what it says. Bridgetown, Barbados. The Citizens Against High Intra-Regional Caribbean Travel Taxes has announced that its Change.org petition has reached 10,000 signatures. And it's going to get mine, maybe 10,001. The issue of taxes, fees, and the charges, TFCs, in air transport has been a source of controversy globally. Regional travel is the platform for growth and sustaining education, commerce, the creative and tourism sectors, among many other industries. But high and increasing TFCs, that is taxes, fees, and charges, have contributed to the decline in intra-regional travel in recent years. When added to the basic fares of carriers, TFCs serve to make overall ticket prices markedly more expensive, since the majority is passed on to passengers. Numerous studies have predicted that if governments were to reduce these charges, intra-regional Caribbean travel would increase significantly, with attendant improvements in the economic performance of those countries that reduce their TFCs, and so on. In other words, over time, the increase in travel will likely see governments collect other tax revenue similar to the amount lost by reducing TFCs. and so on. Now, what caught my attention is the fact that this morning I requested one of my colleagues at the office to arrange flights for me to travel to Grenada and back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in a few weeks' time. I've been invited to attend an International Spiritual Baptist event in Grenada lasting over a few days, and they indicated that they would really wish me to come because they plan to honor me, for which I'm very, very thankful. Now, I am a person, I do not like to travel. I can't travel by sea, period. Even traveling by land upsets my system. And traveling by air is something I don't like at all. When you see me at an airport as a traveler, it means I'm going on a journey that I have to go, and that I couldn't find any excuses not to go. When I was a member of the government, I sent the Solicitor General on many conferences abroad simply because I couldn't bear the thought of traveling. And when I did go to certain conferences abroad, it's when I absolutely had to, as part of my bounden duty. I don't like to travel at all. And when I asked my colleague to book the flight for me to Grenada, I thought, well, the last time I went to Grenada, I did a legal matter there in the High Court of Grenada, and the ticket cost me, I think, between $500 and $600. Fair enough. And in those days, I got a direct flight from St. Vincent. It was, in those days, it was the E.T. Joshua Airport. I went from E.T. Joshua to Grenada one flight, came back a few days later, the other flight, and that was all right. That was the limit of my tolerance for traveling by air. But lo and behold, I was told, sir, there are no longer any direct flights between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. I said, come on. And the lady said, to get to Grenada, you have to be flown to Trinidad and then back from Trinidad to Grenada. Now, Grenada lies between St. Vincent and Trinidad. And you would have thought, why do I have to go to Trinidad and come back to Grenada? I just want to go to Grenada. And then coming back home from Grenada to St. Vincent, I have to fly from Grenada to Barbados, then to St. Vincent. Hours and hours of wasted time and discomfort for me. But what really shocked me out of my depths was when she told me what the fare was going to be. And I have the figures here with me. The ticket for the days I want to travel, going out on a Friday, coming in on the Sunday, will cost me $1,056.58 just to go to Grenada and back. $1,056.58. So I printed out the itinerary and all the information to see if that was really true. And this is what the information came off the computer from the LIAT website indicates. That for my return ticket to Grenada, the basic fare is $207 US, which is $562.40 EC. That is what LIAT gets. And what makes up the rest, the shortfall, of $494.18, government taxes between St. Vincent government, Trinidad government, Grenada government, and the Barbados government. 4 government taxes are in the ticket from St. Vincent to Grenada and back because Liad has no direct flight to and from Grenada. So for a journey to Port of Spain, which I didn't request, but which I have to take if I want to go to Grenada, I have to pay the St. Vincent government taxes, and when I get to Port of Spain, I have to pay taxes to the Port of Spain government. Getting into Grenada, I have to pay taxes to the Grenada government. When I'm returning, I go through Barbados through no fault of my own, through no desire of my own. I have to pay taxes to the Barbados government for the privilege of landing there on my way to St. Vincent. And I want to read them out for you because I think it is a rip-off. Now, basic fare to Liat, $207. All the figures I call out will be in US dollars. And these are the 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. These are the 17 different taxes that have to be paid to the various governments. First of all, there is something called an FIS, which is a government tax from St. Vincent, of $8.75 US. Then the St. Vincent Airport charge, $40 US. A security surcharge, St. Vincent to Port of Spain, $20 US. A Grenada facilitation charge, $7.41 US. A Grenada ACI charge, that's another government imposition, $7.50 US. Port of Spain concourse fee, $10 US. And the St. Vincent ticket tax, $6.60 US. Then there's a tax from Grenada to Barbados, FIS, whatever that means, and I call Liat and ask them what that means, and they don't know, but it's a government charge. So from Grenada to Barbados, FIS, $8.75. Security surcharge, Grenada to Barbados, $20 US. A Grenada ACI charge, $7.50 US. A Grenada ticket tax, $3.75. A Grenada bag screen fee, $3.70. A Barbados PFC, whatever that is, $1.50. A Grenada concourse fee, $6 US. Grenada SVG and security, $22.23. A Barbados passenger service charge, $5 US, and the Barbados security fee, $3.20. So the total fare, $388.89 for me to go to Grenada on Liat and come back to St. Vincent, of which Liat gets $207 US, and I broke it down into EC. Liat gets $562.40 EC. And between the St. Vincent, Grenada, Trinidad, and Barbados governments get $494.18 EC for my going to Grenada and back. Now, it is no wonder that people have practically stopped traveling between the islands. It is simply too expensive. When you have to find $1,056.58 to go to Grenada, which is 20 miles away, who is going to travel just for leisure? These days, people travel only when they have to. So the late loads are falling and falling and falling. And we hear that Liat is in more and more trouble. And they probably have to close down until Barbados sold the majority of their shares to Antigua and so on and so on. Liat must always be in crisis because the passenger loads they are expected to have, they don't get because nobody will travel unless they absolutely have to travel. And what these people who have filed the petition are saying is that if governments took off a lot of the taxes which they have put on to the airlines, the fares would come down and more people would travel, thereby making it more viable for the aircrafts of Liat to operate. So that I hope the authorities in these islands would understand that they are killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. I mean, I'm not a frequent traveler. As I said before, I don't like traveling at all. Many times I get sick in the air. So I'm not a person who travels for fun or leisure. I travel only for necessity. Like if I have to go, as I have to do a couple of times each year, to Jamaica for my medicals and so on, well, I have to, because that is vital to me. That's necessary. That's a necessity. But you don't find me getting on a plane just to go for a joyride somewhere. So that when you hear all this talk about Liat can't make it and so on, how can they make it when, I mean, it's so inconvenient. Anyway, I will have more to say on this topic at a later program. Dibi, let me deal now with the topic of the day, SVG in world news. The last couple of weeks have been glorious weeks for St. Vincent and Grenadines, especially last week. I don't think Vincentians really understand the enormity of what has happened when St. Vincent got 185 votes at the United Nations, thereby being elected as a member, as one of the 5 non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. It is simply mind-boggling. It is fantastic. Superlatives cannot describe what an achievement that is for a relatively tiny island state called St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I would like to congratulate the government, from the Prime Minister, his Minister of Foreign Affairs, his ambassadors and other diplomatic personnel who have campaigned for 10 years to make that achievement a reality. Congratulations to the PM and to all concerned. You know, a few years ago I heard the Prime Minister talk about St. Vincent about to make a bid to be considered for election to the UN Security Council. And I said to myself, boy, that is one achievement Ralph is not going to see. Not with any malice, but I thought it is so enormous. It's like sending a normal human being to climb Mount Everest, who has never been on a mountain. So I said to myself, well, the comrade is, hanging his hat where his hands can't reach. But I should have known better, because I should have taken the example from the Argyle International Airport. Because many people, including myself, in the early days, thought that there is no way that an international airport could be built at Argyle. Too many physical problems, too many problems of financing, too many problems of land acquisition and so on. But I should have taken note that similar things were said, not by me, but similar things were said when the government said they were going to build a bridge over the dry river. Many people said there's no way that can be done. Lo and behold, the government delivered on that project. I was there at the opening, thousands of people, massive crowds to celebrate a wonderful achievement. And then we saw the reality of the Argyle International Airport. So those of us who were skeptical about St. Vincent throwing its hat in the ring to get a seat on the United Nations Security Council were astonished when we heard the news that St. Vincent had indeed gained election. And by a landslide, 185 votes to 6 for El Salvador. And rumor has it that El Salvador was set up by the United States of America to try and block St. Vincent's bid. But I don't have any direct evidence of that. I haven't heard anything, but rumors are persistent. My hat off to the Prime Minister and his government and their public officers. I listened to many of the various speeches that were made about that achievement. And in particular, I went on the internet to see what was the reaction around the globe. And lo and behold, the accolades flowing to St. Vincent and Grenadines was simply stupendous. Because it means that nowadays, when there are active tensions in the world, right now as I speak, there are 2 oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz burning. You could see the flames coming from the middle of those tankers. Controversy as to whether they were struck by mines which are planted in the sea or by missiles, and accusations leveled at Iran, which Iran has denied that they were the authors of those attacks on those oil tankers. That is a potential source of a global conflict right there. And ultimately, the matter is going to go to the Security Council. Now, it may reach to the Security Council before St. Vincent actually takes its seat on the 1st of January 2020. Active conflicts in other parts of the world, the Middle East, in Africa, in the Far East, uprisings in Hong Kong, in the Philippines, unsettled questions in Venezuela. The Security Council is the body that ultimately has to debate these things and pass resolutions. And to think little St. Vincent and the Grenadines having an equal vote with the likes of the United States, Russia, China, France, the United Kingdom, all of the massive countries who are on the non-permanent list of 10. To think of the voice of St. Vincent and Grenadines having to be heard in those councils of the world means that we have arrived, and it gives me enormous pride and satisfaction to know I live to see the profile of my country being raised to those higher heights. I mean, I have had comments from friends in various countries, congratulatory comments. They said they never dreamt that St. Vincent would find itself on such a pinnacle. And coming a couple days before, the head of state of the Republic of Ghana came to St. Vincent and Grenadines on a state visit. And the analysis indicates that St. Vincent had the support of all the GROLAC group, that Latin American and the Caribbean group, all the African states, practically all of the Eastern European states, the Western European states, and the Pacific group. I don't know the identity of the 6 votes that cast against us, apart from El Salvador being one because it was a candidate. But St. Vincent, we Vincentians have a lot about which we should feel proud and satisfied. And it's heartening to know that we have a government that is capable of the detailed planning and the discipline and perseverance it has taken to plod and methodically push forward year after year, making entreaties to every single country, all of the 193 countries in the United Nations, lobbying them, and with no resources. We didn't have the money that countries usually lavish when they embark on a campaign seeking to be elected to this or that UN body. The talk is that we did it mainly with chocolates. Well, power to St. Vincent chocolates. But I would like us all to put politics aside, to put local politics aside, and bask in the fantastic, magnificent achievement of our country being one of the 5 non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, about to take our place on the 1st of January 2020. And I'm sure if the 1st of January was not already a holiday, we would have been justified in declaring that day too as a public holiday to mark this brilliant achievement, a tribute to the clear-sightedness and to the sheer organizing genius of our Prime Minister. My congratulations to the comrade. You have made us all proud. I will close with 2 suggestions to the comrade, now that he has achieved the pinnacle of Mount Everest in diplomatic terms. 1, I would like the comrade to do something about LIAT and its fare structure. And 2, I would like the comrade to use his enormous gifts to do something about compensating the Vincentians who have lost thousands in the CLECO and BICO fiasco. And I will speak about CLECO and BICO on a separate program not too long from now, DV. We know our Prime Minister has enormous ability, and I want him to turn his talents of persuasion and analysis to deal with CLECO, BICO, and LIAT. All right, that is all from this program of the Law and New, program number 940. I look forward to being of further service to you next week, Monday, DV, for another presentation in this Public Service Nation Building series, The Law and You. Do have a pleasant week, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and may the good Lord continue to bless us all.
The Law and You. A look at laws in St. Vincent and the Grenadines which affect our daily lives. The Law and You. Presented by lawyer panel P.R Campbell QC and brought to you on SVG-TV as a public service.